So we'll start from core Java.
Mhm.
Okay. So how we can create a singleton class?
A simple singleton class, we just private the constructor and write one get method, and in this get method, we first check this object is initialized or not. If not initialized, we created the new object and return to it. If we want to thread set, so we just synchronize this thread creation, sorry, this object creation part and synchronize it. So it automatically synchronizes. And if we want to restrict all the things, so we just check if someone call this object by the clonable. So we throw the exception in when any object want means any class want to create this object by the clone method. So it will be restricted.
Mhm. Okay, fine. And what's the difference between hash map and concurrent hash map?
Uh, Hash map is what we call not synchronize. If we want to synchronize, that time we use the concurrent hash. And so main purpose of this concurrent hash map will come there. So means any concurrency will happen. Concurrency means we when iterating some things and we modify same list or any object string object of map. So that time they throw the concurrent modification exception. So avoid this, we use the concurrent hash. Means concurrent any hash map concurrent is already.
Mhm. Okay, fine, fine. What is serialization and what is the use of this?
Yeah, serialization and deserialization. So basically, we use these serializations when connecting one system to another system. So it is serialized object, and we pass some ID to serialization and deserialization. Mostly, we use this file operation, and by default, I think when we using the ORM, so means connecting with the database, so we serialize by default in system.
Mhm. Okay, fine.
Sorry.
Okay. What is deep cloning and shallow cloning?
Okay. Cloning type. So shallow cloning is clone only the object, current object, not a child. And when we are using the deep cloning, so that time they clone our main object, parent object with the child object.
Mhm. Okay, okay, fine. What is builder design pattern?
In builder design pattern, we use the what we call builder factory methods, and we just add the means no need to write some constructor way. We just how many parameters we want to initialize at the times of creation. We just set. For the simplicity, we use direct Lambok annotation at the rate builder of any DTO or entity or DTO class. So we can directly use it. So they created builder pattern for this particular DTO object or entity object.
Mhm. Fine. So, in program, what are the mistakes we do that results in out of memory or memory leakage?
From memory leakage means we uh, initialize for loop for it is basic means when anyone new developer, so that time this will happen. We initialize for loop and read the data.
Mhm.
Or when we are calling the database, and database is we read the table from the database, and that time we not use the pageable operation. So we don't know predict how much data come from the data group.
Mm-hmm.
So that time memory leakage or memory overflow will be often. So it's avoided. We use we not using the some batch. Means not using the some pageable object. So we use the batch approach. But it is good. So we use the pageable object. So we just read the particular memory of data and then perform the another project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Suppose there is a requirement to schedule a job every 2 hours.
Mhm.
So I want some operation to be performed every 2 hours. So how we will design this thing and what we will use?
We just configure the basic scheduler. Means in basic way, we just configure the scheduler and mention the times for the scheduler. But if we want to means not control our scheduler to our app. Means in current project, we are using the event trigger by using AWS Lambda.
Mm-hmm.
So they configure into AWS, and this event will be called. This Lambda will be triggered and perform the operation. But basic, we just use the Java scheduler or thread scheduler, so it will be triggered at the schedule time. What we will configure in our project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. What are the new features of Java 8?
Java 8 main feature is they introduce the functional interface with the Lambda functionality. This is the main functionality. Then second is the stream. So both the things reduce the lot of effort of the particular Java developer. It is easy to manipulate data or perform any logic, sorting and filtering. Otherwise, they modify their internal functionality. I think they modify map internal structure, then garbage collection they change, and
Mm-hmm.
another I think and they also introduce date time API. It is very useful. We want to perform operation second wise, date wise, or milliseconds. So it can be performed time wise and conversion of time, any format to any format. We get a converted. Now, these are the basic main changes in Java 8. And Java 8, previously we use anonymous class. But means I am not saying that the Lambda is a 100% anonymous class function. But when we before that we are using the anonymous. So that time internally compiler will when compile the code they created the one class file for particular this anonymous class. In Java 8, they reduce this functionality, and by using function interface, they can reduce the memory at the server side. What is the means? They automatically reduce our jar or var size if we are using this function interface.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, fine. What is consumer interface?
Consumer interface, it is function interface. I think there is one method accept, and in consumer interface, we just pass the consumer just what may call consume the what are the data will coming and they not produce any result. They only perform the operation of the particular. Means consume only parameters. They are not producing any output.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, fine. In Spring,
Hmm.
what are the scopes of a Spring Bean?
Uh, mean,
There are five
yes,
scopes.
yes, I remember this the five scope uh, session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is five scope, but I'm not remembering proper. There is one session level, bean split.
Singleton.
Yes, one is main is singleton and prototype,
Mm-hmm.
and these are the IOC. And when you come to JW means website and page and global.
Mhm. Okay. What is the use of at the rate qualifier annotation?
Suppose means in project perspective I am explaining.
Mhm.
General definition, it's only find out the bean with what we are specifying doing qualifier. Same type of bean is same name or same type of bean is available or not. In project perspective, when we are writing, suppose there is one entity class and we there two database connections. So we just um, implement this into two class with the same type because there is both are the same entity class, entity manager. So that time container will be confused which bean will be we use in when we are performing the operation. So we just at when we creating the class by using the entity manager, we mention there is a this bean name is suppose SQL bean and this is the Mongo bean. And when we are using it, so we just auto-wire and mention the qualifier in this bean name. So container knows which bean they want to use. Means indirectly they reduce the ambiguity with bean, which bean they want to use.
Mhm. Okay. Fine. What is the difference between constructor and setter injection?
Constructor
Setter injection.
and setter injection, we set the value the two way by name and by type. So we set the particular value into this object and after means when creation the object
Mhm.
in constructor. So when start you creating the object of the particular class, so they means inject this object into our main class where we use. So mostly constructor based injection is preferable. Otherwise, sonar will be show some warning if you use this constructor based injection. But mostly we are using the only auto wire annotations and use it.
Mhm. Okay. How we can read the properties from property file, property
Hmm.
value from property file?
Hmm. Property file using means we want if means external field or Spring Boot related field. Means I explain both the things. In Spring
Related
Boot,
Spring Boot in Spring Boot.
if we want to use this field directly, so they provided the annotations of particular field at the rate value.
Mhm.
Then at the rate value curly brackets we pass double quote and their string sorry dollar symbol and pass the value of particulars whatever the property we configure in the property file. We pass the whole particular address
Mhm.
full name, so it automatically reads. And second way, we use the configure property and mention the prefix. So Spring put means Spring file and
Mhm.
detect property file and check there is prefix and prefix depends upon the prefix they add the property automatically. There is no need to annotate single file, single field. They automatically configure.
Mhm.
That time we are using property source and property source also and configure property.
Mhm. Okay. Fine. Fine. What is actuator?
For Spring Boot, for health checking means applications. What are the our war or jar is deployed on Spring Boot Tomcat. So we want to check their performance. Suppose health check if there is some API health check info and some we want to create what are the thread they are using, how how many memory they have utilized. So there is the providing the actuator, so we can use it. Why did we just add the one starter dependency and they automatically configure. And if security level, so we just configure in security class. So allow this API to execute without any authentication.
Okay. Okay, fine. In Hibernate or in database, what is the difference between get and load?
Get and
Load session
no.
dot get and
Yes.
session dot load.
Yes, yes. Uh, it is the concept of lazy loading and lazy loading pattern. So when Hibernate 3, it is by default. Previously, maybe we can configure into our XML. I am not sure. So in lazy loading, they just return the virtual object with the particular parameter, means primary key. When we on to the another field, means another parameter, so that time we call and they load this. Same case applied to the parent child object. When we want to load the parent object, then automatically they wait for the child. When we use the child object, they load it. It is called the lazy loading. And eager loading means we just call it and they get to database and load the data directly from the database. So in lazy loading, if we just perform some operation only on the pipes in the primary key, so it is automatically increase the performance of our application.
Okay, fine. What are the states of a Hibernate entity?
Initialize,
Okay.
then persist and deattach.
Persistent, transient,
Sorry,
and detach.
transient. This persistence means initialize stage before the session. After session, we are called as maybe I'm wrong. This pronounce transient, and then after performance part, after evict method, this object will be deattached.
Okay, fine. And what's the relationship between Hibernate and JPA?
Hibernate support all ORM relationship means one to many, minute to many, minute to one to one. All the mappings are available.
Okay. So, what is acid property?
Sorry,
Acid property.
is it?
Acid, ACID.
No, no, not.
Acid A stand for atomicity, C stand for consistency. No. Okay. What is first level and second level cache?
Okay. First level cache is by default enabled into Hibernate, and it is not possible to disable, and it's attached with this when we call particular session object. Second level cache is global cache, and it is configurable and it is optional. And this second level cache is available for the full the particular whole of application life cycle. If server will be stopped, so this cache will be automatically destroyed. The server will be continuously live, so its cache will be continued. And this will be sessions when we are creating the object of the Hibernate first level, session factory level. So it is session factory level we can call as second level cache.
Okay. So we use the external libraries for
Sorry?
second level cache.
Yes, this is external cache. Means we can configure it there. They provide third-party libraries, I think
Okay.
Redis and I don't remember, but yeah, maybe.
Okay. What is the benefit of indexing in database?
Could you please repeat? It's a little bit feeble.
What is the benefit of indexing in database?
Okay. For indexing, it is easy to find out any data. Ideally, we use the unique field as an indexing. So when we get operation performed, so they can find out directly this object, means this database where they insert and get our data. Without indexing, this search all the project, means all the database. And ideal case, when we are creating means standard, we only use single field for the indexing per table, per table column, not to use the multiple column.
Okay, fine. So, what are the best practices while writing SQL queries?
Best practices writing.
While writing SQL queries, so that the performance of the SQL is not degraded.
Okay, okay. For we means for the performance, like this indexing is one, so we create index and for finding data. Then second way, when we are using means writing any query, so that time always use the means some clause, where clause. So condition will be applied. Otherwise, they continuously search all the data without condition. And also we means in Hibernate side we use the pageable object because means condition is main thing and second is pageable. So how many data we want to read chunk basis we can use it. And when same thing of applying any modification, so that time compulsory we use the where clause.
Okay, fine, fine.
And also yeah, means depends upon the database design. Means how many they reduce the duplicate data or duplication